The dress I wore was chosen just to fit in. Inside the venue, crystal chandeliers scattered light across flawless smiles. Name cards rested like tiny thrones on every plate. I circled the tables once, then again. 25 places set, none for Wanda. Rebecca appeared at my side, her face all sweetness. Capacity limits, she murmured. Mom materialized, her smile edged like glass. Perhaps you'd feel more comfortable somewhere casual. Rebecca nodded toward the window. See that rundown pub over there? Give it a try. Mom's laugh was quick and pointed. It matches you exactly. I returned the smile. I'll head there then. They expected me to vanish into the rain across the street. They misjudged. Before we move forward, where are you tuning in from right now? A cozy kitchen? A car idling in the lot? Or a space you've finally claimed as yours? Echoes of life is right here with you as we flip the page. From childhood, Rebecca was the one everyone adored effortlessly. The shining daughter, wrapped in compliments and ribbons. My sister married Travis Montgomery right after university. His family controls much of the prime real estate downtown. They settled in the West Hills, 2 children, a gleaming white Range Rover, every item curated for the perfect shot. A life staged in flattering light and careful angles. Her baby showers turned into elite gatherings, caterers, elaborate floral designs, registries listing 4-figure gifts. Mom labeled it maintaining standards. She dismissed my bookstore as a fleeting whim I'd eventually abandon. I learned to nod politely, then go back to my work. I chose another path. After Portland State, I launched Chapter Inverse in the Alberta Arts District. Exposed brick walls, worn hardwood floors, shelves of rare volumes and first editions. The profits stayed slim, but the days felt real. I greeted customers by name and reading preference. I breathed in the scent of aged paper and faint dust. I cherished it, even when others didn't. My apartment perched directly above the store. Vintage pieces, shelves sagging with books. I called it mine. Mom never accepted the decision. She termed it a shopgirl existence. She often mentioned Gregory Ashford, the finance guy from college who pursued me. As if romance were a business deal, I turned him down. Dad got it. Thomas guarded my self-respect quietly. He passed 6 years ago, and the house turned colder without him. So when Rebecca's invitation landed, part of me still hoped. Perhaps a place at the table, perhaps a genuine welcome. I didn't realize the invite was a courteous method of exclusion. The morning of the shower arrived with classic Oregon mist. I dressed carefully, like preparing for judgment. Navy wrap dress, pearl studs, makeup I seldom bother with. I carried my gifts in both arms, a delicate hand-embroidered baby blanket from a trusted local artisan. Elmeander shimmered in glass and marble downtown. Chandeliers sparkled over crisp white tablecloths. Servers moved with silent precision. The valet accepted my aging Honda Civic with a cool smile. The private room buzzed with fragrance and light chatter. Pink and gold balloons framed the gift display. Rebecca glowed at the center in flowing silk maternity wear, makeup professionally done. Mom spotted me first. Tight smile. You're running behind. I wasn't. I let it pass. I extended the gift bag. Mom eyed the simple wrapping. Set it aside somewhere. Rebecca glanced over and registered me. Oh, you made it. How nice. I offered congratulations. I listened to name discussions and subtle boasts absent. Then I searched for my seat. Name cards in elegant script adorned every setting. I walked the room once, twice. 25 chairs, 25 names. Mine wasn't among them. Warmth rose in my face. Eyes followed me discreetly like I was unplanned entertainment. I checked the main table. No extra spot. Mom sat beside Rebecca's mother-in-law. My throat closed. That familiar sting of shame. Had I overlooked something? Rebecca materialized beside me. Soft tone, keen gaze. Everything all right, Wanda? I can't locate my place, I said, keeping it measured. She exhaled as if I were being unreasonable. Ah, we hit capacity. The guest list locked in weeks back. You get it, right? Mom eased closer, alert for drama. These venues have strict limits. Maybe a simpler spot would suit you better. Rebecca's eyes lit up. Sullivan's Pub is right across the road. Why not head over? Mom laughed sharply. It fits you so well. A few guests hid smirks behind their drinks. Rebecca waited for the outburst, the plea, the scene. The urge to justify myself, to plead for inclusion, rose fast. Then calm settled in. I smiled. All right, I'll go. Rebecca faltered, surprised. Mom's expression slipped. I left the gift untouched. No debate. I turned and walked out, heels echoing on marble, then on slick pavement. The air carried rain and city exhaust. I crossed straight to the pub, never glancing behind. In their circle, I had been an inconvenience. In my own, I quit requesting permission. Before we go on, what would you have done right there? Drop a 1 if you'd bite your tongue to preserve harmony. Drop a 2 if you'd leave to guard your self-respect. Or choose another route. Tell me below. Rain drummed against the pub's windows in even rhythm. O'Sullivan's carried scents of seared onions and aged timber. Low lamps, polished brass, a quiet sports broadcast on a corner screen. I brushed droplets from my hair. My mascara hovered on the edge of ruin. Then I noticed him in the back booth. Papers fanned out, pen flying across pages. James O'Sullivan looked up and rose. Well, if it isn't the bookseller. James, I said. I had no idea this was yours. Family pub, 70 years running, he replied. Across the street, El Meander shone through the downpour. My sister's event continued without me. Soft lights, muffled joy I couldn't share. James tracked my stare. What went down? Not prying. Genuine concern. No seat for me? I said simply. Rebecca directed me here. Mom said it suited me. Called it dirty. His jaw clenched. Dirty? Wrong choice of word. You all right? I'm exhausted, I admitted. Exhausted from being seen as the error. I built my store from scratch. To them, it's still nothing. He watched me steadily. Trust me? I should have hesitated, but I was finished pleading. I nodded. Yes, I trust you. James reached for his phone. Short, quiet calls. Private room. Full setup today. He glanced over. Size 6? I nodded again. Bridget. He spoke into the line. Now. Something sharp. Waterproof makeup, too. I swallowed. James, what's this? I'm securing you a seat, he said. One they won't overlook. Bridget appeared in 20 minutes. James's younger sister, a Nordstrom buyer who organized charity galas. Garment bag, shoebox, already assessing. Bathroom, now. The corridor restroom gleamed. Bright mirror, fresh towels. She pinned my hair, touched up my face, traded the damp dress for midnight blue. Clean lines, still authentically me. When I emerged, a paneled door stood open. A hidden private dining space. Exposed brick, tall beams, fine linen, crystal accents. One chair empty. Waiting. The windows aligned perfectly with El Meander. Heads turned over there. A black town car arrived. Margaret Reynolds emerged in a tailored beige coat. Reynolds Books, the connection Mom loved to mention. She entered O'Sullivan's with effortless command. Behind her, a Portland Monthly journalist lifted a camera. The flash flared once. Across the street, figures stilled at the glass. Rebecca leaned in. Mom's hands rose in confusion. James drew out my chair. I sat. Composure returning, my chest eased for the first time that day. Their casual slight had become tomorrow's mention. I didn't glance back at El Meander. I watched rain trace paths on the pane. James placed a folder by my plate. No toasts, he said. Just business. He offered a pen. For contacts and details. Linen felt crisp beneath my fingertips. A server poured water with quiet care. The room smelled of fresh bread. The first arrival came swiftly. Margaret Reynolds. She took my hand firmly. I need your authentication expertise. 20 hours monthly, contracted. Name your rate. Next, David Chen, chef and restaurateur of 3 spots. Coffee bar beside your bookstore. Your books, my brews. Split the profits. We'll formalize it. A Portland monthly writer observed nearby, jotting notes discreetly. Then Patricia Aldridge entered, a collector with a scholar's precision. I'm assembling a private collection. I require a curator. 3-year retainer. She quoted a figure that steadied my pulse. My phone vibrated repeatedly. Rebecca, Mom, unknowns. I silenced the screen. James said nothing, just refilled my glass. Outside, shadows clustered at El Meander's windows. My family staring at the pub like it held a threat. Then the main door swung wide. Familiar voices sharpened in the bar area. James stood before I could react. He stepped out calmly. He returned shortly. They want to speak with you. Do you want that? I inhaled, exhaled. Number. Not on these terms. He nodded and went back. I overheard his tone, polite, unyielding. This is a private gathering. She's unavailable. Leave a message if needed. Rebecca's voice cracked. That's my sister. I deserve to. James stayed even. Deserve is one thing, access is another. You invited her, then sent her here. Called this place dirty. Mom's tone wavered. We didn't intend. Then clarify what you did intend. He replied, without spectators. No one gawked in the room. No murmurs, only calm regard. I rose and approached the doorway. Slow, composed. Rebecca's gaze locked on mine. Flawless outfit, fury beneath the polish. You humiliated me, she hissed. I kept my voice low. You excluded me. You laughed. That's the humiliation, not mine. Mom edged forward. I raised a palm. If you want conversation, call tomorrow. Private, honest, no audience. I stepped back. James shut the door. I returned to my seat. 3 new business cards rested beside my plate. Patricia raised her glass. To women who quit asking for scraps. They didn't lose an event that day. They lost the version of me who lingered. The following morning, Portland felt washed clean. Rain traced silver lines along the curbs. I unlocked chapter inverse and inhaled the familiar comfort of paper and time. The doorbell rang softly. My phone showed 37 missed calls. Rebecca, Mom, a couple unknowns. I played one voicemail and paused. Mom's voice came careful, almost courteous. We should talk. No regret, no accountability, just need. I opened my notebook and wrote 3 words. Private, honest, no audience, and then I did what grounded me. I handled a first edition with white gloves. I answered a provenance inquiry. I brewed coffee and watched the steam curl. By midday, messages landed from yesterday's table. Consulting agreement, partnership outline, curator contract with specifics. Proof doesn't debate. It endures. James stopped by with 2 coffees. No demands, no grand words, just a warm mug and calm presence. You good? I answered honestly, surprised by it. I am. Not perfect, but clear. I didn't return my family's calls that day. Not out of spite. I was learning a boundary. Access required mutual respect. Not through windows, not laced with mockery, not by erasing my name. That evening, I climbed the stairs to my apartment. Books stood sentinel along the walls. The city murmured below, soft and distant. I wasn't the family's shadow anymore. I was the one who'd crafted a life strong enough to outlast their judgment. Respect isn't granted. It's claimed and held. If any piece of this resonated, you're in good company. Like, share, subscribe to Echoes of Life.